It is 10:30 a.m. on December the 20th, 2021. I'd like to call this meeting of the Cleveland County Commissioners to order. Madam Clerk, do we have a quorum?
We have a quorum.
Okay. At this time, I would like to invite any member of the audience to come forward and provide us with the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you, Betsy.
Everybody will salute, pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Blessed be he who spoke to the world and came into being. Blessed be he. Blessed be he who maintains creation. Blessed be he who speaks and performs. Blessed be he who decrees and fulfills. Blessed be he who has mercy upon the earth. Blessed be he who has mercy on his creatures. Blessed be he who pays a good reward to those who fear him. Blessed be he who lives forever and endures into eternity. Blessed be he who redeems and saves. Blessed be his name. Let us say, Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. This time, I'm going to call on Brian Epley, the county manager, who will help us select a commission chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Bridges, and as customary with your annual reorganization and according to your rules and procedures as a board, this is the reorganization meeting with the first item being selection of a chair to serve for the next calendar year. So with that being set up, I'd like to open the floor for nominations.
Mr. Epley, I would like to nominate Commissioner Gordon.
And I would second that.
Any other nominations from the floor? Should I facilitate the closing nominations, or can we take a vote?
You would ask, is there, if they're seeing no further nominations, ask if there's objection to closing nominations.
Any objections to closing those nominations? And we'll move forward to a vote. So on the floor is a nomination for Commissioner Gordon. So all those in favor show by lifting your right hand. Seeing none opposed, congratulations, Commissioner Gordon.
So the next item on the agenda is selection of vice chair.
I'd like to nominate Deb Harden.
I'll second.
So we have a motion and a second. Any other nominations for vice chair? If not, any objections to closing the nominations for vice chair? If not, all those in favor signify with your right hand. So the next item is a motion to adopt the agenda. Are there any items that need to be added to this agenda? If not, I'll entertain a motion either to approve or deny the agenda as presented.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
So hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye, or any opposed? Aye. Okay. So now we're on to the regular agenda, so that would be Mr. Epley. Shell Building Number 4, Memorandum of Understanding and Property Transaction.
Commissioner Gordon and Harden, congratulations. Two agenda items combined in one PowerPoint, and both revolving around continuation of the partnership with the City of Shelby for our speculative industrial shell building program. This will actually be the fifth, but the fourth one we've constructed because the third one sold literally as we were planning it back in 2019. In 2020 and parts of 2021, we built the third one over on Plato Lee Road. And again, that, as you recall, was sold prior to completion to Steffes, which was the Dakota-based company that moved out here and certainly has hit the ground running, and we're so excited to have those folks. Since that point, we've continued to see just incredible energy from site location consultants and from companies looking to either expand or relocate. And it continues, the RFIs that we continue to get either through the state or direct reach outs to us continue to be about speed to market. Certainly there's some additional emphasis on workforce and so forth, but having a building continues to be the #1 access to job creation and tax base creation. And so with the Board of Commissioners approval and the City Council, we began working our way through shell building number 4. The proposed site would be out on Randolph Road, which connects 226 to Washburn Switch. Back in 2014-15 timeframe, the city and the county bought 64 acres there on that on Randolph Road, which is the proposed site for shell building number 4. And so really today's meeting has 2 agenda items, but both focus really around this one transaction. In order to, similar with our other successful shell building projects, the proposal in this situation is for the city to facilitate the construction management side, which includes the bid process, and then the county to facilitate the financing. And we would propose going through the same methodology that we did with Shell 3. In order for that to happen, part of that exchange has to be for the city to deed the property into the county's name. Again, very similar process to Plato Lee. There's 64 acres out there right now. We have subdivided that into a 31 and a 33 acre parcel. The 31 is what is being considered to be transitioned back into the county's name. And that's where shell building 4 would go. I would point out that it is already properly zoned industrial and would be well suited for shell building. This one's a little bit bigger than the one we did on shell building or on Plato Lee, simply because the topography and the way the earth lays there suits for a larger construction, and because that is what we're seeing more of in our RFI responses. The proposal here would be 108,500 square feet on the initial phase with pad-ready sites, again, similar to Plato Lee, for an additional 140,000 square feet. One thing that I would point out is bid openings happened on December the 15th, again, managed by the City of Shelby, and the proposed cost, we had 7 bidders. We did follow the same pre-qualification process that we've done on our other buildings. We had 7 competitive bids. All the prices were very, very close, but the low bid, Hickory Construction, was $8.58 million. Compare that to Shell Building 3, which was $5.9 million. That's a 57% increase. What I would say is we have really surveyed the market from North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia primarily, because that's where we see competing projects. And that $85 a square foot is right in line. We've seen them as high in Atlanta as $132 a square foot. When you look at the producer's price index for construction, in construction analytics, the curve is vertical, as much as 20% increase since July of 21. And when you look at the futures, there's really no expected hard decline into 22. So the analysis of having product ready for accepting clients versus the inflated construction cost, staff feel that it's still a product that will be highly competitive and that we feel will be just as successful in 2022, completing and selling as we have been in the past. There's, for example, 3 or 4 buildings that are for sale in North Carolina right now, all of which are 30-plus years old, that are still in that $78, $79 a square foot range. So the 8.58 does include all of the utilities, as well as the site grading and planning and the building construction costs. So it's full suit. The memorandum of understanding that we're asking the commissioners to consider today, again, basically outlines a 50-50 cost share for all costs, as well as the city running the project management side, the county running the financing side, and then whatever the derivative is at the conclusion of the project at the sale would be split if there's a surplus. And I'll stop here for unaction item before moving to agenda item number 4. Mr. Chair, but in this situation, we're looking for the board to either approve or deny accepting the 31 acres from the City of Shelby and approving or denying the memorandum of understanding that outlines roles and responsibilities.
Thank you, Brian. Any questions or comments from the commissioners?
I think that the method that we're using with this is in the past. It's a proven fact that it will work. And I think that we need to move along with it. If there's no other questions, I'll make a motion that we accept the property and approve the memorandum of understanding.
I'll second.
Any other questions or comments? All right, we have a motion second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Mr. Manager?
Thank you, sir. So the next agenda item, again, same concept here, is to financing side, which will be the county's ultimate responsibility. And that requires two primary objectives. The first one is approving our preliminary findings resolution, which essentially declares that this project will be for the purpose solely of economic development as well, and that's how it ultimately serves that emollient's public purpose clause that will approve our LGC application and submit that. We have to submit that application by January the 3rd in order to be on a February 1st LGC debt agenda. I would say that we've already met with the local government commission and explained the process. They're very comfortable with that. They've seen the MOU. Our RFP for financing should be back later this week. And so this preliminary findings resolution essentially does those things, establishing public purpose, outlining that our LGC application will be submitted by the 3rd, and talks about the way that it will be financed and so forth. The second part of this action item will be to set a public hearing for January the 18th. And at that January 18th meeting, we'll hold the public hearing as well as present the RFP to the Board of Commissioners from the bank financing. We expect to have somewhere between 5 and 8 proposals. And again, those come back later this week. So between now and January 18th, we'll land on a recommended financing institution and approved rate. And then again, all of that would set up probably a mid-February closing. But today is, again, preliminary finding resolution as well as setting the public hearing for January the 18th, which at that time would be the actual approval of the financing and rate and terms and lending institution and all those type of things. So again, happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Brian. Any questions or comments from the board?
As Johnny says, this seems to be a system that works for us, so I make the motion that we approve.
Second.
Any other questions or comments? If not, we have a motion to second. So all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All the ayes have it, so. Next item. Does anybody from the board have any comments before we adjourn?
I'd just like to thank the staff for all the hard work this past year, and hopefully we're going to have a productive year in the new year, and just like to say Merry Christmas.
The same for me, you know.
Yeah, I think
Want
it'd be,
to wish the whole county a Merry Christmas and appreciate the hard work that all our employees have done over the years, especially with the virus and so forth coming in, that they've really stepped up to bat, and they show that they can do a good job. So appreciate that, appreciate all that you and your team have done.
I think it'd be amiss if we didn't recognize Doug for his leadership this past year as board chair and all the dedication. You'll know that you and Deb worked hard throughout that. Look forward to working with Deb in the next year. So thank you for your time and commitment this year. So with that, we're at adjournment. So the next meeting of the Cleveland County Board of Commissioners will hold its meeting on Tuesday, January the 18th at 6 p.m. in the Commissioners' Chambers. In this Commissioners' Chambers, so at this time, I'll seek a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.